Hello everyone and welcome to this channel. My name is Bryan and we're gonna create some interesting social media posts, or you can call it like artwork, because we're gonna deal with a lot of good stuff right here. So let's get started. Alright, so first things we're gonna do, we're going to create our own canvas. So I'm gonna be using 4500 by 4500. So it's a little bit crispier when we import it or export it into JPEG or whatever file we're going to use. We're going to establish first our design layout and assets that we're going to use to create our poster. So we're going to establish the font that we're going to use first. So the font, it's going to be the basic font that we could find in Procreate that is built-ins to... I'm just going to show you right now so you have a clear understanding. So it's going to be ANA01. That's the one that I usually use here because that's the one that is default here on Procreate. So that's going to be our font or typeface that we're going to use. Our color will be pastel here. So we're going to use this color right here. We're going to change the brush to this one right here. We're going to use this color as well. So everything is saved right here in our color palette. You can see on the color section right here if you click that right here. So if you already have a color, you just click that right there. It saves it, so you have less time figure out what color. So that's our main color at the moment. Pretty much this is the base. We can change the hue or the tint. The layout that we're gonna use, we're gonna do half right here. We're gonna make an image right here, a little bit of text right here, and this is like the main text, some kind of fine prints right there. And the last one that I have to consider is also we're gonna go through a telecommunication. We're gonna make our own client right there. So this company is a little bit targeting millennials or Gen Z. So that's the main target of this company. They want to have some illustration. So we're just making this up. Illustration type of post or poster. And they want a minimal design and colorful. Since we have our artboard ready right here, we're just gonna deselect everything here so they don't show up. So under monoline, we're gonna enable our canvas. Beside the gallery, we can put action canvas. So drawing guide, we're gonna turn it on, or we're gonna establish a good alignment right here. So we're gonna use the pen, and we're gonna tap it to make sure it's straight. So we're just gonna put a little margin on all sides. So that's it. Another one right here, because Procreate doesn't have this feature just yet. Hopefully in the near future they will have one. So we don't have to do this. We can just turn it on and control what is the dimension. I'm gonna put also some on the center right here, so you have like an even distribution of elements. It's just a guide. You can also break this guide if you want, but I like to do it like this so it's easier for me and to make my decision which part and which. We can disable it right now since we already have or established our margin, ruler, and grids. We already have it. We can decrease the opacity, and we can also lock it so it won't mess up our design. My background is going to be this one right here. So if you go to the background color, just select this one right here. I changed my mind on the color palette. I added, because we're aiming for a pastel color, but you can choose which color you prefer as long as it blends with the harmony or color harmony. Should be okay. But this is essentially the base color is like red, and then I just put the hue on like the slightest or like a light pastel color. And then from there we can insert our first asset, which is Alright, so this is our first asset right here. So you can find this one down below. You can download it and you can follow along. So we're gonna put this one right here. We're gonna make sure that it's big enough to catch some attention. We're gonna change the perspective of this phone. But for now, we will aim to just put it on our margin right there. Or we can offset it a little bit, and then we can choose the warp, actually the distort section right here under the transform. Yeah, go transform, click that right there, distort, and we can just, you know, make it like a little bit of perspective. We can offset it outside of our artboard, so it does look interesting. Just make sure that it looks like it's, you know, side a little bit, like 35 angle. I don't have a good perspective, but you can feel free to distort the perspective, or yeah, go to selection, go automatic, and then yep, just select that. You can change the threshold, but 20% is okay, just to select the inner part of the screen or the screen itself. So click invert and then click the layer, go to this layer right here like the phone, and then you can select mask. It's a non-destructive way to remove or hide some part of your elements. Change the background of the phone. We can disable the rule at the moment just to make sure that we see what's happening here. To fill the phone's background or the screen, we can select layer 5 like the ruler and then insert a new layer. So let's just rename it phone BG or background. You can name it as you wish. Alright, let's fill it up. Use the monoline brush right here, and then we can just trace it like the border or the border of the phone. We can just trace that right there. So you don't see anything just yet, but you will see it once we fill it up with color. So it's been filled with color, so there's a lot of contrast going on right there. So from here we can insert another asset that we have, a photo of this guy right here. We can put it on top of everything, so the layer of this image right here. So let's put avatar. We can put it on top of everything, so it looks like it's on the phone. So we're going to flip it so horizontal, and then you can align it like this. You can fill it up with the phone so it looks like it's on the phone and doing something crazy. For the phone background, I decided to change it to something lighter, so you can just change it and drop or fill up the color. And so right now we have to turn on our, insert our text right here. So the text that I selected is the ANA01 right here. As you can see, we're gonna put some text for now. So we're gonna put unlimited. So that's the text that we're gonna put. We're gonna select all of it, align it to the left so it's easier to read. We can position it as you wish right here. And what I want to do is to change the style. We're gonna go for semi-bold italic, so it represents like a movement. Fix the leading as well, so close to each other so it's easier to read. You can always change style to bold italics so it's easier to read for some. I want to emphasize the unlimited right here. We can turn off the margins. Okay, select the unlimited and make it a little bit bolder, the color. So I'm gonna choose this one right here that I saved a while ago, so it looks, and now we can turn on our margin. So make sure that it has a good proximity to each other. And then we could copy the unlimited mobile data and then create another text, which is the highlight. We're gonna put $49.99 as a price. You can position it here. We can format the text layout as well so it looks more dynamic. We're not gonna use italic, but we're gonna use bold. And then for the $sign, we can use a regular, and then put the size a little smaller, and then the baseline right here, you can put it up, and then you can use the kerning here to make a little bit of space, because it looks like it's not really a good spacing right there, so it's too close, so we want a little bit of breathing room right there. We can make the $sign a little bit smaller, or I think that's pretty good. And then for the $9.99, we want to format that as well. We want to make it a little smaller, and we can put it probably regular as well. And then we could put the $99.99 a little bit like that. I think that's good enough. So what we can do now, we can just make it a little bigger. So it's a good format right now. You can turn off the ruler just to see how it looks. We can add another text right here. We're gonna put a little bit of line or a separation right here. So on the phone BG that we rename, we can add a new layer, put it at the bottom. So we're gonna rename it to something like a divider, because it will divide the segment. So we're gonna use this one right here. You can always change the color if it doesn't fit with the color that we have, and then we can fill it up with color. Okay, so it's kind of contradicting with the color, so I want it a little bit more subtle. So let's try this one right here. I think this is pretty good enough. I think they're all lined together, so it's kind of good to see. Let's put it on top so we have a good view of the alignment. So I think the alignment is good enough. The yellow right here. I'm gonna just export it, so we can hit the action right here. Go to share and then JPEG, or okay. So I just posted it on my Instagram account, so I think it looks good. You can also check for dark mode, see if it looks good, and people also use dark mode, so it has a good contrast. So that's also one of the things you have to consider when creating some ads. Make sure it's not pure white, because sometimes white is not really that a good contrast with your post. And thank you guys for watching this video. If you like and if you love it, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And thank you for watching, guys, again. And I'll see you on the next one.